You are listening to the Movement Therapy Podcast.
When was the decision to go, I want to do this because of running versus I want to do this because of tennis? Because that transition from you became really, not fixated, but you really enjoyed your running.
Yeah, I think fixated is probably good. And that almost like becoming a runner was never something that I thought would be a thing that I would have never been like, hey Ethan, one day I'm going to like run a marathon.
And I would have laughed at you.
Yeah, you'd be like, what? Like,
Probably don't.
Yeah. So I don't know, I think with me like things tend to just like happen, and I tend to just like roll with the punches, like even in my just like work career. It's like, oh yeah, COVID's here, all right, cool, I'll start my own business. And like, I tend to have a good gauge of like what things I should be doing and like what things I enjoy doing. And I was enjoying running. I could control the variables more. I could go, if it rains, I can still go for a run. So I could still get that fitness in. And tennis then became, like I'd already missed out on a comp, so I'd already like lost. I wasn't going to join a team halfway through a comp, so I was like, all right, can't join a team, so I may as well do more of running. And then, when you start doing more running and it's like, well, I want to run 3 or 4 times a week, all of a sudden then the days are like, well, I've got no time for like literally anything else. And then, probably started thinking about Pilates around that time, maybe a little bit later, but I think it just became a time thing with tennis where I was like, well, I'm doing so much running, I want to have some time at home, especially at night, like, love getting up, going for a run in the morning, starting the day right, finishing the day at home, going to bed nice and early, like, I had a nice routine, and then, going to tennis in the middle of winter at 7:30 and staying there till 10:30 because there's 2 courts that you're sharing. I was like, it wasn't appealing to...
They were long nights.
Yeah. And then sitting around after like playing 2 sets because there's not enough courts to share, like, there's a few things, I guess, that subconsciously impacted what I did. I was never like, oh, I'm a runner now, I'm not going to do tennis.
Yeah.
It was more just, I kind of looked back and I was like, oh, I haven't played tennis in ages. But I'm running heaps now. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like, guess I'll just follow this path now.
Yeah. Was the Pilates transition just because of Chels? Just because of your wife, or?
Yeah, so Chels is a Pilates instructor. It definitely was partly her. I think partly you, because we had lots of chats about strength, right? And at this point, so I started doing a lot of running. I think when I did my knee, I was like, I still want to do a marathon in the middle of the year. I think that was like, which was Mudgee, I'm pretty sure. And I was like doing really well with like my consistency of runs, and then I did my knee and I was like, shit, there goes like all my fitness. And I was like, Ethan, I'm going to have to build up in like 10 weeks or whatever. Is that possible? And you're like, yeah, it's okay. But I remember we had chats where you're like, you need to have some strength work as part of your routine. Like, you need to come to the gym, you need to do something. And I was like, but Ethan, I don't like the gym. And then we talked about Pilates, obviously, with my wife, and you're like, Pilates is a great thing to do as well. I feel like comfortable doing it. Like, it doesn't scare me like the gym does. Like, being around all the gym bros, I'm like, don't want that. Where, tuck away in the corner, just do my thing. Her, and like, I'll usually go with her, so she kind of helps as well, where she's an instructor, so she'll be like, put your foot over here, like your knee's bent the wrong way, and I'm like, oh shit, or like take that spring off, or like put that spring on. And so she was like my nice little safety blanket at first of like,
no lie.
If I stuffed it up, she'll fix it. And then, so I did a couple of like running events. I started Kosciuszko, like UTA event at the end of 24. And that was like, 9 months after the knee, and the knee was fine. Like, I started a bit of like lingering kind of, like the occasional pain. I think I even came and saw you, and you're like, oh, it's fine, it's just blah, 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 whatever, It was
whatever jargon I
I think that's how the consult went. But you're like, no, you're fine, you're good to go and do that. And so by this stage I was like, well, I'd gotten into like more of like the ultra stuff, like longer distance, which I know you were happy about. You're like, yeah, good, go and ruin your body some more. You'll be seeing me soon.
I just couldn't get the whole, I'm a tennis player, Now I want to be a runner. Now I want to do a marathon. Now I want to do 50Ks. Now I want to, like, how did that? And why?
I don't know. And again, like, it was never like a decision. I never sat down and was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. It was more, I think I just enjoyed it. And yeah, doing that cosy, like, that was my first, like, ultra, which wasn't ultra, it was 30Ks or like 34Ks. And just, like, being out in nature, like, it helps, especially like on trails. Like, I found it very different to like road running, where road running, it's very, you've got a time goal, you've got pace, you need to, I'm like, I need to run in 6 minutes, otherwise I'm being a slow bastard. Like, I need to, whereas on the trails, it's like, well, I'm going up a hill, I'm going to walk. Oh, and there's birds chirping. Oh, there's a wallaby. Like, and I try and, like, not take music as well. So it became like almost like meditative for me of, like, working in social media, there's a lot of like noise and stimulation and like dopamine hits, where running is like, okay, phone away. I can just like listen, I can think, and get lots of, like, a lot of my best thoughts when I'm like running. And so I think part of that, I really enjoyed the, like, not that it's calm, but calm-ishness of it. And so, but yeah, I remember doing the cozy run. And at that stage, I was running a lot. I wasn't doing much Pilates. And I remember the first, like, 20Ks, I felt amazing. And I was like, I am the greatest runner in the world. Like, I'd surged to, like, there's like 500 people. I think I was like top 100. And I was like cruising down like the downhill bits. And I was like just going at like a great pace. And then the last 10Ks, I was like, I'm dying. And it wasn't like it wasn't lungs, it wasn't anything like that. Like, it was a hot day, so like I think there was a lot of fatigue. Like, it was like 30 degrees in November. Oof. And this year it snowed, so I was like, you never know what you're gonna get. But I remember feeling just like weak. I remember feeling like my abs in particular, I was like, they couldn't hold me. And I was like, I remember that was the trigger for me, where I was like, I need to do more like strength work. I need to, like, not just go for like 3 or 4 runs a week. And that's my training. And then, so like last year, so 25 was when I was like, right, Chels, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to do Pilates. I'm going to become a member, so I have to do like my 2 classes a week. I want to come with you. She's like amazing, like so good at Pilates, like super fit. So she also motivates me, because I look at her, I'm like, fuck, she's holding a plank still. Like, all right, better go and do my plank some more. But then the next like event I did after doing Pilates for a few months, which was my first 50K, which was one at Jervis Bay, which I think I came and saw you in prep for that. And I remember feeling so strong. And it was like the best run that I'd ever had. It felt better than the 30K. Yep. And I was like, oh, I get it. That's the strength training. Like, he
was right.
My body's not going to fall apart at the end. Like, it was still like one of the hardest things I've had to do, but it was, as much mental as anything. And yeah, I remember feeling like strong, and like my legs felt strong, and like my, I feel like I had some strength in my abs, and I wasn't just going to like collapse over. And I was like, Ethan was right. He was right.
I just remember that message you sent me after that run was like, that you feel amazing. Because I did see, it was a week before or a month before or something. Yeah, some bit of time beforehand. Yeah. And I don't know if I told you that I was really worried, but I thought it, at least.
Good, okay. I'm glad you didn't tell me that.
I don't think I would have, but yeah, I was like, you have progressed way too quickly here.
Yeah.
And, historically for progressing to running, I usually take my clients really slowly and deliberately. And yeah, you're a lot more stubborn than my usual patient, but
yeah, like, you're going to go running out.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
But yeah, I think that just the Pilates was like a real game changer for me.
Just like you did something.
Yeah, it was something. It was something. And even like over I've noticed even over the Christmas break, like having time off, like went away, so I wasn't doing Pilates, and then was still doing running, and I was like, oh, far out. Like, my body just didn't feel as good, and like, going up hills or like trying to push off. Like I didn't have the same kind of strength that I felt doing Pilates. So it was a nice it's nice when you get those real tangible like, oh no, I can see the difference. I can feel the difference in my body. Like that's why I need to keep doing it.
So it just made me so happy getting that message, being like, oh, I mean, I don't care if it was me or Chelsea or whoever got through to you or yourself that just said
Probably a combo.
anything, just something else will help the fact that you want to do. It wasn't, I didn't need you to enjoy it. I just needed you to enjoy the running or the tennis or whatever it was.
And I think I now enjoy Pilates because I don't feel like I'm gonna make a fool of myself or like I know a lot of like the things that we do and like I know what springs I should be on and like whereas at first I was like, oh my god, like I'm trying to hold myself in a side plank and like I can't do this, like I'm the thing's gonna snap and I'm gonna die or like so at first I didn't enjoy it, but now I think I do enjoy it.
Was it weird? Because I mean obviously Pilates, it's getting a little bit sort of better now, but Pilates is a very female dominated field. Was that weird? I mean, I know you had Chelsea there, but was it...
Without Chelsea, there's no way that I would have done it.
Yeah, cool.
Because what I've found, like I've tried a few different like studios, and so Chelsea's at Good Moves, which I think is maybe like one of the bigger ones. They got three studios. Yeah. Like 10 plus instructors. Like I think in terms of like volume, they would be one of the biggest ones in Wollongong, and they're like 99% women and like young, I'm an old man now, I'm 35, right? And so I'm walking in like, just in like my t-shirt and there's like, these young active women and I'm like, oh my God, like it's intimidating, but not because they're doing anything, like they're just there to do their Pilates, but I'm there going, they're looking at me going, who's this guy in our like Pilates safe space? Like what's this guy doing? That's what I'm thinking. And I'm sure they're doing their own thing because it's a great studio and I love like the instructors are really well trained, which I know might be like, we've had chats about Pilates before. And there's like good Pilates and there's not so good Pilates, right?
Sure.
And so
just like anything.
Yeah. But they are really like, they do constant training and like upskilling for their workers and like the routines are really thought through and like even talking to Chelsea, she's like they're so strict about what they teach and like how they teach a class and like you've got to have all these different elements and things in each class, otherwise you can't do it. But I definitely think I go with Chelsea, she goes, oh, we'll go to this class because this will be a good class for you because it's this person teaching a strength class and she puts together a really good strength class, so that's the one that we'll do. And then I sit next to her in the corner, tuck away like out of sight. And definitely at first it was weird. Like I would kind of walk in with Chelsea and be like, I'm with her.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm with her. She's
had my carer.
Yeah, this is I'm with Chelsea. But even now, like I feel, like she walks in and knows everyone. Yeah. And so now people know me as like, oh, that's Chelsea's partner who's just here to like, and there's a couple other guys now that I see, which is cool. But definitely going in and like having her as like a safety blanket.
It's so interesting that you describe it like that because it's the complete opposite. I mean, with a commercial gym space, and that is what people say is the intimidation factor. And I mean, male typically say that, and females say that most of the time it's a male intimidation factor at a commercial gym. Yeah. The massive bodybuilder sitting there doing bicep curls. Like, I feel intimidated with that.
Yeah. But you got big biceps. So.
Well, naturally. Now I do.
Now I do. A bit pumped in the eye.
It's an extra small shirt, don't worry. But it's the walking into a fully female-dominated space who, they know what they're doing. They move well. Yeah. They're flexible. Yeah. And a majority of them, let's say, we're generalizing, but it is intimidating for someone who isn't as flexible, who isn't as mobile, who really doesn't know what they're doing, and who really doesn't enjoy it, or doesn't enjoy it yet. Like, I can see how that would be super intimidating to start.
It really was, and I remember those first few times being like just so conscious of how bad I was, and like, we were doing things, and you kind of like look over to the side and you see, all the girls like touching their toes in like, like a downward dog, or what, and I'm like, I'm not even close to my toes. Or like, I'm kind of touch my knees, or like, just I could just tell that I was like, I'm out of my depth. But again, I think the key for me was like, go back right, like hide in the corner. That way, there's only a few people that I could see.
Yeah.
Like most people can't see me, so they're like, they're not looking at me. Chelsea just kept reminding me like, no one's looking at you're not looking at other people. You're like trying not to die yourself. Like you're there to like have a workout, get fit, get flexible.
And there's also girls that can't touch their toes.
Yes, there was. And I think once I felt comfortable with like the instructor, so like I've got that familiarity with the instructor, so they know me, so they, kind of not like look after me, but like I don't feel like I'm imposing anymore. It's like I'm just part of, just one of the gals.
Yeah, just one of the gals.
And I think like I wish more guys would do Pilates. Like I'm sure you like.
Yeah.
But I think I've talked to like mates and runners and guy mates in particular that go and do Pilates. And I think what's hard is they go to like a more traditional Pilates where Good Moves is a bit more like fast paced. Like you do get up a heart rate. Like they do have weights up to 15 kilos. So like you can do like have a good workout if you want, where I think traditionally it can be, I don't know, quite like easy or like simple, where I find these classes are like really challenging. I get a good like workout. I feel sore the next day in like lots of different spots, where I think I've heard of, stories where they go somewhere like, oh yeah, it was nice. Like it was a good like stretch. And
it was a good stretch.
I didn't really get much out of it. And so, but then it's like, well, you don't have your Chelsea safety blanket to go and like hold your hand while you feel comfortable in an environment that isn't suited for you. So yeah, I understand why.
I mean, it's I guess a lot of the guys potentially see, it's a girl thing. It's for girls.
Yeah.
Whereas it just happened. Pilates was invented by a guy.
Yeah.
So this is, if we look at the origins of it, it's interesting to see it started as a male, and then I don't know how it became this female-dominated thing, but obviously a body is a body. Movement is movement. So
movement is movement.
That's really cool. Let's get into what your next running goal is.
Do you want to know?
I don't know. I say this with trepidation, but go on.
Also, I did my first 50.
Yep.
Which was 54, which is bullshit.
Actually, I remember you telling me that. You're like, hang on, what's my Strava?
Yeah, this is way more than 50.
And that extra 4Ks on the end of 50 is surely the killer.
Oh, yeah. I think one of the best things that happened was my watch died. So I was recording on my phone.
So good.
So I had my phone, but it was like in my pocket.
Yep.
And so I knew that like I was getting close, and I could kind of see like where I was going. So I wasn't really doing the look at the watch.
Yep.
And then when I looked after, I was like, what the hell? Like, where did these extra Ks come from? But if my watch is still going, I think I would have been like, I'm at 50. Like, and I could see that I'm nowhere near the finish. But so I did that, and then I did a Grand Slam, which was 10 on a Friday, 50 on a Saturday, 20 on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Which was, I think actually I saw you in between those two.
Yeah.
And actually the other thing that I wanted to make.
Is that the foot?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is where, it wasn't even like a consult, but I think I saw you in the street. No, I came and saw you. Because I was like, my feet.
We talked about it, and then.
Yeah, I was like, my feet were cooked after doing the Jervis Bay 50. Blisters, all these things were happening, and you gave me, again, some incredible advice, which was toe socks and wide foot box, or wide toe box in the shoe.
Yep.
And I was one of those like, toe socks are like the most disgusting things. They look disgusting. Like,
you are not alone.
Why would anyone wear? They're gross.
These
they're
disgusting
awful.
gloves for feet.
What is wrong with these? And I was like, you know what? He knows what he's talking about, Ethan. So I'm gonna get some toe socks. I think that afternoon I bought a pair of Topo shoes.
Yep.
Because you said they had the wide box, and we were looking at my blisters, and they were all on like the sides of my toes. So like my toes are just rubbing, and it was cooked. from there, basically never had a blister since. Like, not quite that extreme, but like an absolute game changer for me, where I was dealing with blisters and like just toes being crunched and soreness in my feet.
Yep.
And then started doing that, and I was like, this is just so different. And then went and tackled that, like it's near Coonabarabran, which is like middle of like northwest and New South Wales, like really low key trail running event, like really wholesome family vibes. And basically told, because I wanted Chelsea to do a 50k because she does some running with me, and after Jervis Bay she was like, what about this Pilliga? Looks cute, like we go to some random country town and stay there. I was like, that does sound fun. And she'd just done the 20 at Jervis, and I was like, you should do the 50, because I just finished and I was like, I feel great, like that was so cool, like I had all these like endorphins. I was like, life is great. I just ran 50Ks. And she was like, no, I can't do 50. I'm happy with my little 20, 25 distance. And then we saw that there was like, this Grand Slam where you do all 3 events. And she was like, all right, well, if you sign up for that to do all 3, I'll do the 50. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then the next day she sent through like a screenshot of like, booked in for the 50. And I was like, shit. Like, call my bluff.
Called a bluff.
Yeah. Like, well, I guess I'll do that. And that was the first time that I, like up until there, I was kind of, I would say like wishy-washy. I'd like run, I'd have like a bit of a plan, and my mate would kind of suggest something like runs, like, oh, do like 5K today and like do a tempo session. It was very loose. And then for Pilliga, I was like, right, I'm gonna get a coach. And so there's a guy, Renee Collins, who's like a local Wollongong like trail running guy. He does some like coaching on the side. And so I reached out to him and got him to like coach me for 12 weeks leading up to Pilliga, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to run like a 10K, do 50 on a Saturday, wake up Sunday morning and go and run a 20K, like trail, like all on trail, like mountains and everything. And that was the first time I properly like locked in and did, almost to a T the training that he put forward, and like, hill repeats and all that kind of bullshit that was super fun. But then that was, I thought I felt really good at Jervis. At Pilliga, I felt even better. Like the shoes, not getting blisters, training properly with like a purpose, with someone that knew what he was doing, where, I finished the 50K, felt like cooked, but still felt pretty like all right. Woke up at 5 o'clock the next morning to go and do another 20Ks. 1K in, I felt great. The last like 5Ks, I was basically sprinting because I was like, I still feel like I've got things left in my legs to give. I finished the 20 and I was like, I can keep going. Like if I needed to, like I could have, which maybe was like the adrenaline of like, oh, thank God it's done. But that was another kind of, in these lessons that I've taught myself in a way, but with help, is like prepare well, train well. Like I fueled really well. Like I had a proper fueling plan, and then like all that. It's like it's so obvious. It's so obvious now, but like I had to do it badly, right? Like I had to stuff up, and I had to make mistakes to then go, okay, no, it's actually way better when you plan better and have a good plan. And I had lots of good fueling. Like
You have no idea how happy that makes me, but frustrating in the same conversation.
It's a bit of both.
But that's incredible. Like, it's such a simple message, but
Honestly,
it is something so difficult to do.
Yeah.
Like motivation. And you're right. Someone telling you to go and do something is different to you experiencing the fact that you couldn't do it and wanting so hard to do it and then seeing the success.
100%.
Like, you have learned so much more than anything I could have told you in doing that. Yeah, it took you a couple of years, but now you've got that, and you say you're an old man, but you're not like 97. Yeah. You've got a few more years of running left. So like that's phenomenal. And did Chelsea do the 50?
She did the 50.
How good's that?
She loved it. She came back and was just like smiling, and she was just cruising. Like, for me, I'm like, I want to. It's hard to have a goal in those where it's like, you've got all this elevation. You're like, I don't know what, but I want to try and push myself. Where, she was like stopping and taking photos of like flowers and shit. And so like, she ended up taking I think she was like 7 hours or something, and so I was just sitting like under a tree at the finish line, and she just like wanders in and was like, "That was so fun," and I was like, "What?
It's not meant to be fun.
I know." She's like, "Look, it was hard," and I was like, ended up being really hot. But yeah, so that was my first taste of like, I guess, like 80 Ks over a couple of days, and so yeah, this year, got a couple of things that I want to do, a couple of things that I'm doing. So at the end of mid to end March, I'm doing 6 Foot Track, which is a trail event in the Blue Mountains, which is 45 Ks ish. Very like up and down. There's a river crossing.
Oh, cool.
So trying to work out if I take my shoes off or just like just cross and deal with like squelchy.
Oh, that's go splits the territory.
Feet. Still don't know what. I think I'll do shoes on and just like, oh well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be such a stuff around to.
It'd be really hard to put them back on.
Yeah.
If they're wet. Yeah.
So that's March. A lot of people said that's like a really great event because, like, I'm sure you probably see it like in your work, like trail running is like having a moment, right? Like everyone's running. Everyone is out there running. And I'm like part of the problem. Like, you know, I'm the same month. I've started running and I'm like, yeah, running is great. But all these like big events like the UTA in like in Katoomba and in Blue Mountains, the one in Kosciuszko are like so massive now. It's like thousands of people.
Yep.
For me, I don't really want to do those big events. So I'm kind of on the lookout for these like smaller, different events that are like a bit more, you know, I think in Pilliga there was a couple hundred people that were there, which is lovely. It's like, you know, you get to know people more, like everyone just sits around after and chats, whereas it's not like this huge thing with like lots of people. So this is my way of doing like the UTA Blue Mountains, but slightly different path. And then I want to do 100 Ks. Thoughts? You gonna come?
It's fine.
But that.
Tell me it's not next week.
No, it's tomorrow. I'm going after this. Yeah. No, not next week. May.
Oh God.
Yeah,
cool.
But it's not so. Mate, is probably like the main person that got me into running and then onto trails. He's always wanted to do his own 100K around Wollongong. And so it's been like a dream of his. He was like going to do it and then hurt his back and hasn't been able to like get back to full fitness, but he's back. And so we're aiming to do basically from like a Sutherland down through like the national park, across the escarpment, finish at Mount Kembla.
Wow.
And so some at Mount Keira, some at Mount Kembla, and it's about 105 Ks.
That's awesome.
And so that'll be like a fun one because it, you know, there'll be no time pressure. It'll just be like start really early, try and finish by not too late on the like
the end of the day.
Same day. But I think, you know, you asked a while back like why, and I think part of me just I like the idea of just a challenge, and I like the idea of seeing. I think a lot of people go through this journey that I'm on, which is like, I'm going to do like a 10K run, and then, I want to get faster on my 10K. Okay, well now I've done 10K.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a half. And then you do a half, you're like, okay, I've done a couple of halves now. What's next? All right, well, yeah, I'll do a marathon.
Yeah.
Then you do a marathon, you're like, well, I felt really good. Felt amazing finishing a marathon. Like, but then, how good would I feel if I did 50?
Yeah.
And then I did 50, and I was like, oh, I feel great. Like, that was very tiring, but okay, well then what's next?
Yep.
And so I feel like that the Pilliga, like doing 80 Ks over a couple of days was a little like stepping stone. And then now I'm like, okay, well maybe I can do 100. And it'll be very slow, like very cruisy. Yeah, there's a lot of logistics to organize in terms of like, kind of have some help and some like aid stations and friends to like, looking for like a massage person actually, like maybe halfway to pull up
We'll talk later.
A little table. So that'll be May.
Yeah, that's cool.
Penciled in at the moment. And then the other thing that I want to do in August, it's a good timeline, there's enough gaps there.
That's a big gap there.
is a backyard ultra.
Oh, I've heard of these.
So there's one in like at the back of Dapto, which
Yeah.
is the Reds backyard, and so that's where you do 6.7k loops on the hour, every hour until you stop.
Yep.
And I've heard of these. There's some great YouTube docos
Yeah.
that you should go and watch. Like that's kind of I think what suckered me in. I was like, oh, I'll just watch it. And I was like, oh fuck, that looks interesting. But I went last year just to watch the one in Reds, and it just kind of like captured my attention, and it was just the weekend, but I became obsessed with it. I went back a couple of times. I kept going home to Chelsea. I was like, oh my God, like there's still 10 people running. It's 24 hours later. Like they ran overnight and now it's daytime and they're still running and they just look fine. And there's like, they have all these like gazebo tent setups and it's like a whole process. And then at the end of the event, I came home after being out there for like the fourth time. And I was like, Chelsea, I think I want to do one. She's like, I know. She's like, you kind of gave it away with, how much you've been talking about it for the last few days. But
How far do they tend to run?
do you want to know?
I don't know.
So I think Reds ended up being like 250 plus Ks. So
Wow.
but then like, and I think that was like a low amount. It might have been even more than that. Because I know there's like a world record, which is an Aussie guy, and it was like 100 and something laps. So that's like
Jeez.
600 and something, which is like just the most insane.
I mean, you can't even, like, I'm sure all the runners listening will just like twitch in their chairs, but you just can't even comprehend running 600 Ks.
No. And what they say...
It's like Canberra to Sydney twice.
Like what they say is because... So you've got an hour. So to do 6.5 Ks in an hour for most... And like most of the courses are fairly... Like they're not super hilly like some of them do, but like it's not like you're pushing to do it. So then it becomes like... Because you can stop and you have your little setup. So you can fuel, you can eat, you can get water. Like you don't have to carry too much. So it's really more of like a mental thing where it's like, can you just get back and then go out again and do that like
100 times.
But I like it as a bit of a, like I'm hoping by that stage I will have done 100 Ks. And so then I'm like, well, maybe I can do more than 100 Ks over that in a more controlled environment, more like easier with nutrition and like less elevation and all of that.
It's cool to keep just having these challenges, I guess. Keeps you going.
Yeah, and I think I just like the idea of, when I've got something to build to and to look to, I'm like, I can really lock in and like go, right, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Like, okay, I've got, I'm in a little training block at the moment for this 6 foot track. So I'm like, right, I've got to get up. I've got my little plan. I've got to do this in the morning. I've got to do these runs. Like, it gives me structure in my day, in my week. It gives me something to build towards. I feel good when I've finished. It also like, I think part of it is, while I like to think I'm quite like healthy, I do love a beer. Do love like, it's a Friday, I want to go watch a footy with the boys and like have a beer. But I think, on the weekend is when you go for like your long run.
Yep.
So that's like, well, I can't have too many beers. So I've got to go for my run. So it's also like a bit of, it's keeping me like, from going out just, or like, just like drinking a bunch of beers just because it's like a Friday.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's another part of like my why, I guess, is like...
I love that.
Yeah. So I might be seeing you in the
Well,
next
I'm
few
excited
months.
to book you in, mate.
Should we just book them in now?
I mean, don't worry, I've already done it.
So like pre-May, like maybe mid-May, like...
Yep, after the August, leading to August. Yeah, we've got
Yeah,
it.
after the 100, I'll probably... after the backyard ultra, I'll probably about a walk. There's only like limited spots, so I've got to work out how to like wrangle an entry and get in.
It is really cool though, hearing you, I mean, that journey's awesome, but hearing the need for preparation and for training to be able to continue challenging yourself and maintain healthy. Yes, you're going to be sore. Yes, you might get a little bit injured, but your injuries now will probably be less severe than they were, beforehand.
100%. Like I've ran more in the last year. Like even like my Strava numbers like year on year was like, 100%, 200% increases on things. But, apart from the knee, like I haven't really had injuries. And like, I haven't, I had the little, after the Jervis Bay, like it was like the ankle thing, right? Which was like from the shoes and like just like load of doing lots of running in like the wrong shoes. But that was just like a stress overload thing. But like, I haven't had anything that's, I'm really
please, oh my God, don't say that.
Jinxing everything. But I haven't had those injuries, and I think it is because I'm now like trying to do the work and trying to, have a good plan. Have even like as part of the plan, there's always like a deload week, so it's like cool. That's my week of chilling. It's like okay, I've got my Pilates, I've got my things that like I know can, do it for me. So I think the preparation like,
so good.
I wonder if I went back in time and told myself that, like...
Or I wonder if you went back in time and had a physio that told you that, maybe.
Yeah, but I wouldn't listen to that physio. But I think, again, like, I think you telling me that got me there. It just took a bit longer than you probably would have wanted. Like...
It's all your journey. Like, you figured it out. As long as you figure it out. Like, that's all I need. It doesn't matter how, when, as long as you do. Because then it keeps you active, it keeps you healthy, and look at you now, you're running hundreds. Like it's
not yet, but maybe.
You will be. You will be. Yeah. No, it's really cool. Great story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground in this.
Covered a lot of don't know where it's gone, but it was...
That's the good thing about the podcast, huh?
It's really, really cool. So hopefully it inspires a few people to get into some running. I mean, running's such a popular thing in Wollongong anyway, but just to keep challenging themselves and keep preparing. Yeah. That's what I would like to come out of this.
And I think the challenge is, I think... like even just mentally for me, like it's really good for my like mental health. Like I've noticed I'm more like clear, and like running gives me a chance to like think through things, whether it's for my business, for life, like just problems, but then like setting a goal and trying to like beat a goal and trying to like improve. Whereas I think a lot of people can get quite safe. To steal my wife's line that she uses in Pilates is like, if you always do push-ups on your knees, you'll always do push-ups on your knees.
Love it.
So, sometimes you've got to, and I see so many people just, you do the same 5K run every day, and it's like, cool, that's my run. And it's like, if you go a little bit outside of that, or push it a bit more, or do things a bit differently, or try and do push-ups on your hands for one push-up or two push-ups. Like, it's a challenge for you, and then when you do it, you feel really good.
Yeah.
And that's, I think in a way, I'm just chasing that like high of finishing a long run that I've trained for, and that like feeling of finishing and being like, oh, I did that.
Yeah, I love that. Like I did that.
Yeah.
I had to train.
Yeah.
I had to do the event.
Like after my first marathon, after the first 50, like I welled up. Like I was literally like finishing me like, oh my God, like almost out of like relief more than anything.
Sure.
But that feeling of like just feeling so good, but then also like, getting a bit emotional of like, also the work's done, thank God I can like relax for a couple of weeks. But
that's really cool.
Chasing that feeling 100%.
Yeah. And just remind us on the work Instagram page.
Yeah, I should plug two. I have my little side account.
Yep.
But I have the Social Sandwich, which is my like business account. So if you're a small business in Wollongong, give me a follow, reach out.
And what are you looking for there? Like what business type are you trying to attract?
So my goal with that is I want to help business owners that are running their social media, but aren't quite sure if what they're doing is right. So they're, it's your classic like business that's like a cafe, or it's even we've chatted about your social media where it's like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this the right way to go? Am I like, what else should I do to help reach the right people, to drive those business objectives, to make like more interesting content? And it's usually like a one-person team. So it's not, I've moved away from, and I still do some work with like larger brands with like teams, but it's usually like, a mum and dad team, or like a you know, a startup or someone. And so on my Instagram, I just try and share like easy tips and tricks on like, hey, do this thing, or here's an update that you need to know about on Instagram. So you're not going, oh shit, like what's changed? What's happened? And then I got Run with Edwin, which is my little side account, which I started to see if I could start an account from zero and grow an Instagram account, you know, kind of. It was actually, I spent a lot of time thinking about it at the Jervis 50 because there's not much else.
Got nothing else to do.
I was like, maybe I should start a running account. I was like, I don't want to be one of those like running. Can I say wanker?
Sure.
I don't want to be like a running, you know, like one of those like,
Yeah.
like dicky, like
influencers.
wanker. Yeah, I didn't want to do the like, you know, fitness account. So I was like, well, I can add my own spin to like a running account and try and add a bit of fun. Like I'm now doing a bit of like sharing of, oh, here's this good trail in Wollongong.
Cool.
Did this run, go and check it out. Or here's like a coastal run you can do. So it's less like get ready with me and like, you know, things that I don't think are very interesting because everyone else is already doing it. And so,
true.
yeah, I think it's Running with Edwin and
Awesome. We'll tag that in our
that's
show notes.
That's probably more of my, like for this audience, probably more of the one that because I want to try and build that up as like,
cool.
you know, a little side project, but then try and use it to potentially intertwine. Because at the moment they don't talk to each other. Like no one on my business account knows about this other one. It's like this mystery that I'm like, hey, I started a new account and I've got 600 followers. Here's how I did it.
Yeah.
But that one's been fun.
Yeah, cool.
That was, I don't know if you saw me and my brother did a half marathon and from North Wollongong to Dapto.
Yeah, I did see that.
And we stopped at 7 pubs along the way.
The pub run.
The pub run had like 50,000 views.
Wow.
It went like pretty viral, which
Unreal.
Was a nice little like proof point of, okay, there's something here of like silly running content that isn't just like,
it's not the expected motivational running.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
yeah.
you can go for a run. You can also stop at a pub.
You can have a
beer. That was hard. That was like maybe one of the hardest.
Yeah, let's not super endorse that one.
Yeah, we're not going to endorse that one. But yeah, try and have a bit of fun. So that's Running with Edwin. So
I love it.
Kind of got two that I do. But
perfect. We'll tag them on the back. But yeah, really appreciate all your sharing your stories and excited to see what this year brings. Hopefully, we don't see you in the clinic.
Hopefully not, no. But probably.
But we're here if you need us. You know where we are.
I'm sure that... Look, I do want to even just like fill in a couple of times at tennis. I'm
100%.
Looking at, I want to try and get back.
Would be cool to see how that side goes if you do want to start going back into tennis route. And then
I'd be interested in like... Because I think right now I'm like the fittest I've ever been.
Yeah.
In terms of like just general, like all-round fitness. And so I'm curious how that would impact tennis, like... being able,
I've got some opinions on that, but we can talk about that another time.
Yeah. How much longer we've got? Go for another couple of hours.
And podcast number 2.
Yeah. Part 2.
No, it's a really cool story. So hopefully it inspires some trail runners and just anyone to get out and check out a few different things that they're used to.
Yeah.
I think go outside the comfort zone, but add a little bit of preparation because a little bit goes a really long way in helping you just do something that you obviously really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And we want you to stay active and keep active, and that's the goal. So it's a win-win for everyone, and it's really cool. So really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me on the show. I appreciate it.
No worries.
In a little dungeon. It's been great.
Studio.
Studio. Sorry, yeah.